Greetings to the second take of the second recording of the first episode of Allstars.
Well, man wasn't recording with OBS.
We are finally here after over a month after the first episode, and weeks after the first recording of this episode, minutes after the first re-recording, or not recording, of this episode.
And seconds after my last singing solo.
Seconds after Dark Wolf's debuted singing career. But we are here to watch our Muuch mulch the Independents. Look at him go. The Asartet and the Slow Mooch, the Meteorite Guard, are very good expanders underwater.
They stab.
They stab. And we have a bless on them. But we have a little bit more bless than this, coming in incarnate on a dormant pretender. But for right now, we're going to continue to keep you in the dark, and you're just going to see the attack skill +4.
If you somehow haven't seen it from like any of the other channels, because of course they'd be done uploading by now. It's like turn 50 in the actual game.
Have you seen it? I think Alfarius, Air Zero, Alfarius, Grippa maybe has put out a video, maybe?
I don't think anyone has HP. That was the joke.
Oh, I ruined it. Cool.
You did. Like, you ruin a lot of things in life.
I ruined this series already.
100%. Alright, well, here's our land expansion.
Yes.
And I mistimed it. I'll take blame. I did the testing for our expansion, and not only was I not prepared for land movement speed, but the fact is, those are Jaguar Tribe in fire instead of attacking closest. So we lose a Bonecraft Guard to my mistake. But even still, we get into melee. They're shitty troops. We kind of mulch them.
Yep. And that's just the Meteorite Guard expansion with that Prot 19 and the high damage weapon. They're going to blendo the indies, any sort of indies that they come across. And honestly, Dark Wolf, I don't blame you, because with this kind of stuff, I would just be throwing Meteorite Guard in against Jags untested, because they will simply kill them, because these men barely wear pants.
Yeah, I was spending a lot of effort in this game, as you'll slowly find out, until the glitch.
Spoiler alert! No, we're gonna edit that out. Cut that shit, editor. Get that shit off my video. Get that shit out of it. Alright, are we starting you on turn 7, when we've already expanded? I think videos that start on turn 1 are kind of boring, because nothing happens on turn 1, and turn 7 is very significant, because it's the first turn that we see our vile foes of Erythra... Wait, what? What were these guys called? It's been so long.
I don't actually remember.
Corey Veckin. Damn.
Yeah.
So, our vile foes, Corey Veckin. They're down here. They've got their Knights of the Deep coming in hot. We first see them. We don't see what they've got. We assume they're going to march towards us. We're not going to march out to meet them until we've seen their bless. But this is the start of things getting hot underwater. We've got a little bit of land right now. We've done okay expanding, not great.
I'd like to bring attention to Mayor Lande. Still hasn't taken the farm next to him. And it's turn 7, so like at this point I was debating, do we just start taking stuff from Mayor Lande? But
I wasn't debating that. Fuck that.
And said no.
I wasn't debating that. Hell no.
That's
our turn 7 starting position. Turn 8. What are our foes up to? Looting us, it seems.
Who would have thought? We're being looted.
We're being looted.
I never would have seen that coming.
And let's see what they've got going for them. This is their bless. It's pretty bad.
Let's show some respect. It's just shit. Okay, we use respectful words here.
It's pretty dog bless. But there is a lore behind this dog bless. There is a backstory behind it. Because Ballin Stalin...
Allegedly, reportedly.
But Ballin Stalin, as he has been reported to do multiple times, uploaded a test god into the game instead of their real god, because they hadn't finalized their god when they had all their names out. And so the wrong god was uploaded, and they ended up with this test build instead of their real build. But we did test. When we tested against much fiercer builds than this. So, attack skill, that's good for them. Strength, that's good for them. Undying, kind of weird on these guys, but like, okay, that's not bad. And larger, which is bad for these.
But overall, the issue with their bless isn't even that like any part of it's besides larger's negative. It's just like they should have known we'd be going
right
full in on killing them.
And maybe they did.
Oh.
And, you know, maybe their real bless had, like, thunder weapons and, like, 5 stats, but...
Which is what I tested against. But...
Right. But these guys don't have that. But they're still Knights of the Deep, and they're larger, so they do a pile of damage and murder PD very easily. So they're going to come at us. And our god still isn't awake yet. So we do have to fight this with just +4 attack skill. So that makes the beginning a little bit more fair there.
Our wife hangs in the balance.
Let's give it a little more time to build up to suspense. And this battle is just us expanding against knights, more showing off of the sort of Atlantean beat-em-up attacks. Very easily clears this
We
province.
do a lot of stabbing. It's very basic shit.
Stab man combat, as Shlomo would say.
This is literally like magic's for the weak, stabbing's for the strong.
Alright.
Welcome to the next turn, and it was a faithful day. We're going straight into a fight in Lake Vastness. Now, the fight itself is just backdrop at this moment, but just normal scripting. We stab, we kill, cast some spells. You can see our first magic going off. But the real important thing here is the position.
Dark Wolf.
By scouts. By scouts. Oh, we named. I don't know if we've mentioned it yet because I keep mixing up what we've talked about in each recording. But we've named as many commanders as we can. Now, of course, it's fallen out towards late game, but like at least at this point of the game, and pretty soon you'll see like every commander named.
But let's talk about this little shitty pond, right? This little shitty pond is pretty important, because this little shitty pond, right, with 16 gold in it and about 2,000 guys, it's our backup plan, okay? We build a fort here, right? Then we can trace income across land that Knights of the Deep conveniently cannot walk on.
No one ever said Dark Wolf and HP, the Dream Team, were bad at planning for failure.
Spoilers, Dark Wolf. So we're going to end up putting a castle here as our backup plan in case our capital falls, which is a possibility because they are coming in hot for it.
With
all these
their scary leaders. Look at those scary leaders, HP.
Oh, they're scary leaders? What? This? Oh,
they're threatening us.
Yeah, we pinged their forces with a leader named Nap 3, but apparently they didn't want a Nap 3 by that kind of diplomacy, so they have politely declined with death is a kind of nap. So the negotiations are fierce and ongoing.
Yeah, we think within the next turn or two they'll agree to a Nap 5 at the least. Don't worry, we're good at Diplo.
And we also, let's see. Yeah, that was a ping. But we also want to highlight that we did some shitty, like, recruit outside of fort expansion attempts, and they fucked up. So
that they did?
Wasn't all successes, but we're facing some heat at this point in the game. But I do want to tell a little story about Lake Vastness and its little fort, because we are going to have to return here several points throughout the series. Lake Vastness is inhabited by Tritons, fully aquatic water units. At some point in the distant past, sea life came from this vast sea into this little tiny lake with its ironic name, and was cut off from the rest of the sea by these land provinces, leaving, a very strange world for the Tritons under here. They had one province worth of place they could go. Their entire world was encapsulated in this little tiny lake. They could talk to land dwellers. They probably knew that there were seas everywhere else, but none of them could go on land. They have no mages, no magic. They were just living here peacefully until one day Muuch! Hordes of Muuch with magic armor and big, thick, like, glances and stuff just ran in and
what?
murdered
What?
murdered their militia and just stole their property in the name of fucking Kyriarchos that they had never heard of before.
The Lustragonos set their eyes on the prize, and the Mooch brought it
And
to
now
them.
these guys have to deal with their new overlords of their little tiny lake. Idyllic no more. This is the sort of emergent storytelling and deep tragedy that you get playing the game of Dominions 5.
That's the true face of Dominion. Tell me when you're recording so I stop thinking about radios.
Think about radios one more time, because I've already started.
Oh no. Oh no, radio.
Addendum! We have an addendum to turn 9. They're coming in hot. We've got to defend the cap. We got to grip it up. We didn't preserve our scripting, our bad, but we have here some Mooch.
I promised you it was expert scripting. I did it all.
Yeah, some more Mooch. We patrolled with just about everything. I think we left like 2 mages inside to not patrol. And we did up the PD to 44 in preparation for this giant stack. And what they've got, that we can see at least, what they've got is 21 Knights of the Deep. There's a few hoplites, a couple of heralds, and a commander. Up against, we've got some Mooch, some more different Mooch, non-sacred Mooch, a pile of mages. We've been making use of our citadel a little bit, and an absurd number of PD. So we'll see how that goes, and if we'll need our backup plan. Welcome to beautiful underwater Kyriarchos for the first annual Grippa Bowl. I'm your host, Short Buck Wilder, and I am joined by my co-host,
Mahmoud the Mooch!
Who is a former Kyriarchos player, former jersey number 69 of the offensive line. And we are here today to see that first cap defense bowl of them all. On the left, we have our visiting team, the Koriveckan Knights, and on the right, we have our home team, the Kyriarchos Kitchen Sink. Let's give it up for them, folks. It's everything but. Let's get an introduction to our beautiful team. On the offense, we have, in the number 420 jersey, we have Death is a kind of nap, the answer to our nap. In the number 6 jersey, we have Secondary Expansion Leader, a generic name for a generic man. And over here in the number 1 jersey, we have the First Spear, not the most creative prophet name, but better than forgetting it, like I do half the time. To back these up, we have our defensive squad of hoplites, Erythraean hoplites. How many of those total? Mahmoud?
So the offensive line of Koriveckan is currently running 7 Erethian Hoplite, 21 Knights of the Deep, divided into a 3-pronged formation.
Yeah, that's 3 squads of Knights of the Deep on the offense, and they are forward deployed and rushing forward. And back here, for Kyriarchos, what do we have?
A line of 21 slow mooches
21
and 23 bonecraft guards. This is supported, of course, with the home team advantage of 44 province defense. I repeat, 44.
44 fucking PD, folks. But that's not all. We also have the Allstars lineup of mages supporting this battlefield. We have Melia A2 random in the 13 jersey. We have in the 69 jersey replacing our friend. We have Knights of the Deep scary. Yes, they are. We have in the number 14 jersey a Ysian commander. And then in the 15 jersey we have a Morgan champion. Not going to see any of those on the battlefields, but we'll see them in the PD counts. We have 4 bullied mages. We have Subaru in the number 4. We have You're a Literal Child in the number 72. We have HP Loves DMX, a man whose name game displays differently at different places to insult me differently. In the number 18 jersey. In the 19, we have cringe. Yes, he is. In the number 24, we have buying dignity. I wish I could. And then in the number 25, we have all or nothing, which this battle surely will be. So let's get it started, folks. We've got blesses going down. Sermons of courage. We've got the knights coming out to meet the PD. Oh, we've got the lances hitting, and oh, that's gonna hurt in the morning.
This is I'm getting visions of my PTSD from my time in the offensive line. Nothing you hated more than a lance in the face.
Oh, limp, crippled, and never healing wound, but others got it worse than you did. There, we've got the PD is being chewed up. We've got, but on the other side, the squad of Knights of the Deep is getting slapped around by the slow mooch line. We've got spells going down. You want to take lead us through those?
Yeah, so the main spells being cast by the defensive line are classic Angry Oracle's plays. We got Sermon of Courage for morale. We got Numbness to slow down the different knights to make them peter forward.
Hold on. We've got some backfield action. We've got Mooch running past the main line. They're going for the mages. Are they going to make it? Over here, the hoplites, they're caught. They're spelled. They're numb. They're caught up on these PD. But the PD is flailing against the majority of these Knights of the Deep. They're getting chewed all to hell by these large men. But they're still going. The Mooch are still going for the rear. Oh, they're getting slapped around by the magic. They're getting smites cast on them. What's going on?
I lost the cousin of that.
Oh, no! Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I'm sure he will rest peacefully in the afterlife. Moment of silence for him. Moment of silence over. Let's get back to the action. We've got the defensive lines are tangling up here. The O-line is coming in around the flanks to smack these guys. The Mooch are still going. They're still going. They're going to make it, I think. The mages are throwing everything they have at them, but they're at the 10. They're at the 5. They're going. They're slow. They're so goddamn slow, but they're persistent. They're going in for the mage line. They're going straight for the prophet. They're on the 0 behind the lines. But smites are going down, double smites. They've got that fucking holy 2 smell that acts like a spite.
Holy word.
Holy word, that's the word I'm looking for, the holy one. But they're nearly to the prophet. They're gonna make it. I think they're gonna make it. They're cutting him down.
Let him.
Oh,
no man left behind.
They've
just
got him.
Corey Beckman propaganda. Leave him behind. Get those kills.
They're getting revenge for his cousin. They're cutting down the mage line. What's happening at the front? More stalemates. The Knights of the Deep have knocked out the PD and the Moocher in the middle. But I don't think it's going to matter. They've gone straight for the mages. They've killed them all. It's a rout. Oh my God!
Look at them stupid ponies run.
They're not running yet. They're getting caught on the spells and they're getting chopped up. Brutal rout. Oh, this was quite the battle. Oh, quite the fight here. Glorious. What a day. Touchdown and Kyriarchos and a victory.
As much as we celebrate, I'd like to have a moment for our lost brothers. It was Clarence's birthday 2 weeks from now. He had a young wife.
A Muuch Wife?
A Muuch Wife.
A Muuch Wife? Wait, you can marry Mooch?
Female Mooch.
Hold on. I need to know more about the marrying the Mooch. Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah. So the way the Mooch married...
After that, let's talk about the real story behind this battle. These are the casualty count. Very few.
Yeah.
We mostly lost
minimal.
PD. They lost mostly everything. Bonkers numbers. Now, this doesn't put them out of the game by any stretch of the imagination. The Knights of the Deep are still pound for pound better than what we've got. But it does mean they don't get to rush our capital. And so we're gonna have to fight a real war underwater instead of them just getting to roll over us. And it gives us time for our god to wake up and to bring out our sweaty dormants.
Yeah.
So that we can beat these guys up.
The battle itself, if we go in for the scripting. Yeah, so the battle itself, it's not actually, too much fancy. the primary portion of the scripting is just basic point buffs and mage spells to kind of give us that tipping point,
Yeah,
as well as using the PD to tank their cap.
Right. There were a few point buffs going down, but the main story is we just delabbed all the mages. We patrolled with all our guys, and we dumped PD up to 44. That just took the lance charges. Now these guys did make it like more of a victory than it otherwise could have been, but if we speed up here, these guys were going down. Like, the Knights of the Deep had already lost most of their squads and were being chewed up by the time they started retreating. And we probably got 4 or 5 extra out of that route.
Yeah. And it's as for the spell side, like, it's very easy to dismiss the spells because we weren't using any Evas, we weren't using any big point buffs. But Numbness, False Fetters, Phantasmals, and Cheat Fate together did get us good value. And Phantasmals just tanked. And then
Water Strikes.
Cheat Fate, we didn't have Water Strike. They had Water Strike.
Okay.
No, we were casting Numbness, which actually, while it's not as good as Water Strike, the big advantage of it, I don't know if anybody watching noticed it, but not only does it make them stagger more, but it lowers their charge damage because charge is based off combat speed. So they'd have their charge damage reduced or they'd run into a cheat-fated infantry, so the charge was canceled, in which case their larger bless was purely a disadvantage because of how low the density was.
I think they hit before any numbness went on any knights that they had used the lances, but I think Cheat Fate on the slow mooch did some work. And definitely False Fetters and anything that tangled them up. Just going up that Alteration 3 was the right move to just gum those knights up. We technically had Moss Body, or I think we got it that turn. But, so we couldn't script it, but we may have gotten it off script.
No, we didn't have any mages that can cast it, I don't believe. Yeah, we had one water mage. We had one water mage, but he couldn't script it.
Yeah, we didn't.
He scripted to Numbness.
I don't think we could script it because I think we didn't have the research. Where we are now, at the end of that, oh look, okay, we see some other people. We we have our backup plan. We can now start building. We have not a great amount of territory. Kind of sucks. Turn 10, and we're this little nubby nation. But we've repelled the main thrust, and we can move out. Because we don't have to sit here worrying about, like, oh no, their Knights of the Deep are going to take our cap if we move out. We get to preserve our 44 PD. We preserved most of our troops. And pretty big defeat for our opponents.
Yeah.
We see our beginnings of borders with people. We see Grippa in his cool castle. Not a big problem yet. We have
We see Merlande without that farm stall.
Yeah. Struggling to expand. So he's more than happy for us to not fight, and we're more than happy to not fight because we got to fight 1v1 underwater. We see the first to Papegabuckle, or Hui, or Huey, or I think
it's like the sound geese make, but I don't, or ducks, but I don't ever listen to them.
The Papegabuckle Nation, and the Mechamaori Nation, I think. Over here, we see the geese. That could be a problem if they come and attack us in the back while we're dealing with this. And we see a little bit of Mammon. They're greed ballers. Not greedy yet. They have their sacreds. But Lucid Jr. over here.
This nation's Lucid's nation, but a little bit different.
For their free spawners. Less greedy than Lucid. Less totally greedy. So we see our neighbors. We're really going to remain focused on this war.
Yeah, like for the foreseeable future.
Anything else to close the episode out?
Thanks for watching.